Greetings, everyone. Happy Friday. Thank you for tuning in to the Backyard Smokemaster Barbecue Podcast. I'm joined tonight by my lovely wife, Janine.
Hey.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Happy to be back.
And I'd like to start off by welcoming our audience, our live audience that's tuning in, watching us on either YouTube or Facebook. And then I'd also like to welcome those who are tuning in to the rebroadcast. You can catch us on your favorite podcast player. You can either watch it on YouTube, watch the replay on Facebook, or just listen in with your favorite podcast platform. So we do appreciate your support. We do like to make our podcasts, our live streams interactive. So please feel free to join in the conversation. Include your comments or any questions that you might have. Really appreciate it. And then I'd also like to shout out before we get started, shout out to our daughter.
Yes.
She is moderating for us. So she's about 200 miles away in college. She attends Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, a freshman.
Yep.
We're really proud of her and really happy that she wanted to be the moderator, and I know she's going to do a great job. So big shout out to you, Erin. Thanking you already for all the help that you're going to provide behind the scenes.
Well, but she has been helping even in previous shows. This isn't her maiden voyage. I mean, she's just getting credit now, which is a little different.
Well, yeah, that's correct. Yeah, Erin, she actually moderated last week's episode. And that was kind of a learning experience for both of us because things were happening on the screen and I couldn't figure out why it was happening that way. And then later I figured out that it was Erin making some things happen. So yeah, she just jumped in full speed ahead. So definitely appreciate that.
Absolutely, we do.
And we've already got our first comment. All right. Hey, Kenyatta, Rob from Virginia here. I have enjoyed using my newest accessory, the item that completes my Weber charcoal grilling center, the Hunsaker griddle insert. Thanks, Rob. I know you've tuned in to a lot of our podcasts, and you're a regular person who provides comments to the YouTube video, so I do appreciate your ongoing support. And glad that you're enjoying that griddle insert. I have seen that from Hunsaker. And that's what's great about these types of products because they just give you so much more versatility. Like you can use a griddle insert. I like to use my flat top for doing things like breakfast foods or maybe do a stir fry. So I imagine you'll be able to come up with a lot of cool things to cook with that griddle insert.
What's the price point for that insert? Is it under $100?
I don't know off the top of my head. The griddle insert, I'm imagining probably $80.
Well, that's reasonable.
I'm just guessing though. I'd have to look it up to make sure. Thanks, Rob, because that's in line with what we are talking about today.
Absolutely.
So
very timely.
The main topic for today, we're going to talk about 4 outstanding accessories that can make your barbecue better. And actually, we might even talk about a few more. I might have 6 or 7 to talk about. So I think it's going to be a really nice episode.
Yeah, I think so.
We've got a comment from my friend Lala tuning in from the Philippines. She says, "Hi, Kenyatta and your beautiful wife."
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for tuning in. Always appreciate and always happy to see you, Lala. And she says, "Congratulations on the awesome video podcast." Well, I'm just trying to be like you. Lala has a great podcast that she does. I think it's weekly. It's like a lot of arts and crafts. I've been able to tune in a couple of times, and she usually has a guest or two with her, and they're doing some outstanding stuff. And Lala is a model of consistency. I'm pretty sure that you've been doing your podcast live streaming weekly for I mean, at least well over a year.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm,
Oh,
you
that's
know,
good.
very impressed trying to follow your lead in terms of being consistent doing podcasts.
Especially in 2024.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
$70.
$70 plus $20 shipping.
That's even better. Although I know you're kind of a fan of don't charge me for shipping.
Yeah, you don't want to get me going on the shipping, but
If there's a deal to be had, you will find it.
no, but I understand and I realize, especially with the griddle insert, it's a fabricated piece of metal that's going to be heavy. It's going to have some nice weight to it.
Yeah.
So that's going to be costly to ship.
So $20 seems kind of reasonable then.
Yeah. So overall, $90. That's about in line with what I was thinking. So
Yeah.
I think that's a good deal. And Hunsaker make fantastic products.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's well worth it for sure.
That's cool.
All right, we've got a few more comments. So Lala says, Filipinos love barbecue. Well, I think
It's
good
universal,
barbecue.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think good barbecue is universally loved throughout the world. And what's really cool about barbecue is that there's just so many different ways to do it as well. We've got just a ton of different grills and smokers, and then methods and rubs, seasonings. So really, just a lot of opportunity for experimentation, which is something that I always recommend as well.
Don't forget the protein. I mean, there's tons of proteins.
Well,
That's kind of important too.
yeah, that kind of goes without saying, but yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Tons of different proteins. I mean, really, you can cook anything.
Yeah, you can.
On a grill or smoker, so you can do desserts. I've seen videos where people do like snack mixes and put them on the smoker, popcorn. You know, you can do some of everything. I mean, I've even heard of people smoking ice.
What?
So they can get
so they
like
could
a
get
smoke flavor
in their drink.
into their drinks.
And it's somehow going to elevate the alcohol experience? Ooh.
I haven't tried it yet, but
I want to try that.
that is a thing. That is a thing for sure.
Yeah, that would be good to try, maybe.
If there's a video out there, I'll watch it and I'll figure it out.
Okay.
Let's get going with the presentation. Aaron, if you can pull up the presentation, and we'll start talking about these accessories that I wanted to highlight this evening. Main topic tonight, 4 outstanding accessories that will improve your barbecue. And we're going to start off with the Vortex. I've done at least one video featuring the Vortex.
Yeah, you have.
But basically, the Vortex, it's a heavy-duty cylinder, and what I love about it is that, as you see in the picture, you put your fuel, your charcoal inside of that cylinder, and that basically really contains the fuel and kind of helps direct the heat, right? It's really cool for indirect cooking. My favorite thing to do with my Vortex is to do party wings, chicken wings.
Oh, okay. That's when I see it then, because I'm like, I know it's familiar.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
The Vortex will sit in the middle, and then all around the perimeter, I'll just line up my chicken wings, get that smoker or get the grill up really hot, like 350, 375, and then just let them go. Let those wings cook for about 15 minutes. Then I'll flip them over to the other side and repeat the process. And it always gives a really nice bite through.
It's not rubbery. It's
not rubbery at all.
Yeah, they're really good. They're really delicious.
The Vortex is stainless steel. And another thing you can use it for is high heat searing. So obviously you can, if you want to sear a steak, for instance, you can put the steak or whatever the protein is directly over those coals.
Yeah.
And that'll really get a nice sear on them quickly. They come in a variety of different sizes. They've got like a small size, like if you have one of the smaller size kettles, or kind of like a regular size for the original kettle, and then they get progressively larger, like if you have a Weber Summit Kamado, Big Green Egg, or Kamado Joe. So that's a really do recommend if you're looking for something to make your grill or smoker more versatile. Definitely look at a Vortex.
I like that the price. I'm sensitive to the price point, so I like how the price point is not going to break you. It's reasonably priced, depending upon the size. So for me, that's appealing as well.
Yeah, it won't break the bank.
No.
To get a Vortex. So next up, we have the Slow and Sear. So the latest video up on the YouTube and Facebook, you can see is I did a video based on the Slow and Sear. They have a particular edition that's good with the Weber Summit Kamado. So that's the low profile edition. But then they also have models that will work with just your regular kettle. They also have a version for the Big Green Egg as well. What I really love about the Slow and Sear is that I love it for setting it up for 2-zone cooking or low and slow cooking. Basically, you have, well, we're going to show a clip that will demonstrate it better. But basically, with the Slow and Sear, you have your fuel over to one side of the smoker. It's got a water reservoir. And then on the other side, you can put your protein. So that's a really natural setup.
Is the reservoir in the middle?
Yeah, it'll end up being kind of like lined up in the center of or close to the center of the grill. And then your coals will be banked all the way over to one side. And then the other thing about it, in addition to being able to naturally do or easily do like a 2-zone cooking setup, you can also use it to do high heat searing. You can put your protein directly over the coals as well. But for this one, let's show the clip that we have. That'll give a better visual and demonstration of how the Slow and Sear setup works. I know what you're probably thinking. The Weber Summit Kamado is already a great, efficient cooker, holds temperatures extremely well. It's extremely easy to dial in the temperature that you want. Knowing all of this, why do you need an accessory like the Slow and Sear? In my opinion, the Slow and Sear is not a must-have accessory. If you don't get one, you don't add one to your Summit Kamado, you will still be just fine. But the Slow and Sear makes a fantastic smoker even more fantastic. The main things that I love about the Slow and Sear accessory is that it makes it super easy to set up your smoker for 2-zone cooking. Your coals are going to be over here on this side. You have a water reservoir. You can fill it with water if you'd like. You've got your heat source over on one side, and then you place your protein over on the opposite side. That's a real simple 2-zone cooking setup. And again, your coals are going to be nice and contained in this compartment over here. Adding water to the reservoir helps to stabilize temperatures, which helps facilitate low and slow cooking. The flip side is that if you wanted to do some grilling, don't use the water. You have your heat over here on this side, and you can put your protein directly over the heat source. Get a nice sear on that steak. My favorite way to use it is for low and slow cooking. The other main thing that I love about the Slow and Sear is that it basically helps turn your Weber Summit Kamado into a top-down cooker like an offset smoker. Picture your protein over on this side, heat source over here, and what I mean by making it into a top-down cooker is that the hot air and the smoke is going to rise up to the top of the cooking chamber, and then it's going to come back down across and over your meat over on the opposite side. So that's much like how an offset cooker operates. Combine all of that with the Summit Kamato's ability to hold temperatures, steady temperatures for an extremely long time, and you really just get the best of all worlds. I've said it before, in my opinion, the Summit Kamato is one of the most versatile, most efficient, and just one of the best smoker grills that you can get on the market today. All right. So one of the things that I mentioned during the video is that I don't consider the the Slow and Sear to be a must-have accessory. And then I would say the same thing for the Vortex. They're both really nice accessories to have, but you can absolutely accomplish everything that we've talked about so far without them. So I don't put them in a kind of a must-have, but they're kind of more like just a nice thing to have that can really make your grill or your smoker perform even better. So just want to make that point of clarification.
But if you have a little extra in your budget, those would be nice things to add, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, I've seen you use them, and I certainly have benefited from your cooks. I think they're worth it.
They're great accessories for sure. Before we move on to the next one, let's catch up on some of the comments and see if we have any questions. All right, so Chris says, I love making wings with the Vortex. Yeah, absolutely. That's my favorite use for the Vortex, like I talked about. I think if you're looking for a surefire way to get some wings done and have a nice bite through skin, I think using a Vortex is a great way to go.
Especially if you don't want to fry them, you just simply want to have that smoke flavor, and they still have a nice texture. So,
well, now you can, believe it or not, you can fry wings
after the fact
on a smoker as well.
Oh,
absolutely.
okay.
You think of it as like air frying. You've got your smoker or grill up to that high temperature, 375, 400. And you've coated your wings with the flour, seasoned flour, and you can absolutely put them on your grill or smoker. And yeah, it would be like cooking them in an air fryer.
Yeah, but you haven't done that. So is that going to be a future video?
I hadn't really thought about it, but since you mentioned it,
I think you should do it.
Maybe we should do that as an upcoming video.
Yeah, I'm wanting to try them. I'll do a comparison. A taste test.
I mean, I can't guarantee the results. I just know that it can be done. And, I'm not afraid to try something. So yeah, we can definitely try that.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Let's see. The low profile Slow and Sear is back by popular demand. They told me they would never make it again for the Weber Kamado, but it's back now. Now that's interesting. I wonder why they wouldn't want to make it continue. I mean, I guess maybe the market, maybe they're just the market isn't large enough since its specific use case is for the Weber Summit Kamado.
Yeah.
But that's interesting.
Maybe they need to expand the different equipment that you could use it for so that they can actually keep it in the marketplace. Because it seems like it would be lots of people would like it if it could work on their equipment.
Well, I think in this case, the Summit Kamado kind of has an interesting size. And I know that I made an error, I have to admit it, in the newest video that's out there about the Slow and Sear low profile. I said that that the Weber Summit Kamado is a 22-inch smoker, and someone in the comments pointed out that it is a 24-inch. I think I probably had the Weber Smoky Mountain on my mind because I got the 22. But anyway, so I'm thinking maybe it's because of that unique size of the Summit Kamado.
24 is not really a common size, right?
I'm kind of wondering what the size is of like your regular Big Green Egg
Yeah.
and Kamado Joe, but I know they have another unique version that's specific for the Big Green Egg. So I'm not quite sure, but I'm guessing that that's probably the reason,
I see.
is that the Summit Kamado has a unique size. From Marco, hello, I think you mentioned putting boiling water in the reservoir. Maybe I have that wrong. What is the purpose of the boiling water?
Is it boiling? I thought it's just regular tap water.
No, it is recommended that you use boiling water. I'm trying to remember it because now we start to get scientific as to why. But my initial thought is like if you use regular tap water, if it's cold water, that kind of works against the heat that you've already established inside of your smoker.
It's going to cool it down.
Yeah, it's going to cool it. I mean, it's already going to drop because you've opened the lid.
Sure. And it drops quick, too. I don't know if
It does drop quick.
Yeah.
And then it's also, the hot coals are right next to the water reservoir.
Okay.
So I think that using boiling water,
Keeps
the
it
boiling water,
warm.
what is the temperature for boiling water? Is it 212? I should know this. I think it's 212.
I think it is.
I think somebody, let me know if I'm wrong. But I think it's 212.
Yeah.
So that will
Keep the heat source going.
Well, it keeps the heat source and it aligns
Yeah.
better
Yeah.
with the coals that are in that where you've got your hot coals going. So
Yes.
I think that's the reason. But someone in the comments may have
Our producer has said it's 212.
it's 212. Okay, thank you for confirming that.
Madame producer.
I think we got a few more comments.
Yeah, got some New Year's wishes there.
Two Step 69, who is a regular on our live streams, says, hello, my friend. Definitely happy to see you. Thank
And
you
Happy
for
New
tuning
Year.
in, and Happy New Year as well.
I am not tired of that.
2024.
I'm not tired of wishing people a Happy New Year. I don't know. I mean, I know people don't do it for very long, but I'm so happy to see 2024. It's ridiculous. Like, yes, bring it on. Happy New Year.
Well, I mean, it always beats the alternative, right?
Yeah, sure.
So, yeah, definitely a good thing, a blessing that we're all here for another year. And I always hope to make this year, the upcoming year, hopefully even better than the last one. So keep striving for improvement, no matter what it is that you choose to do.
Yep. More days to smoke meat and grill.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So we've got a couple more. Another confirmation that boiling water is 212.
Yay.
I'm glad I didn't make myself look silly by out another incorrect number there.
Probably because we got C's in chemistry.
We won't talk about that. All right. My good friend, Andy, fierce competitor. We're fierce competitors in fantasy football. He knocked me out of the playoffs. So I'm a little pissed off about that. First round of the playoffs. That's a whole nother subject, but glad to see you, Andy. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
He says, you guys are rocking this. Happy New Year. Cheers. Cheers to you, brother. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's fun. Oh, we have
right.
a wings comment.
And Marco says, I agree that you should try wings on the offset. So I think he's talking about the fried wings.
Yeah.
I think you guys are talking me into it.
Yeah, I can taste it literally. So I think we should try it.
I have been known to try a whole lot of fried chicken recipes, like doing it the traditional way. I've been trying to find the holy grail because I like mine a little bit on the spicy side.
Not a little. You like it kind of spicy. Yeah.
You're a lightweight when it comes to the spice.
It's okay.
I'm always on the hunt trying to, perfect my fried chicken, and now I'm being talked into trying it out on the smoker. But we'll have to give that a shot. I think that would be a good video for sure. Two Step 69 says, I still have all my smokers and grills and haven't used them like a few months. The prices of meats so expensive these days, but I'm still a beast when doing so. We've definitely seen some price fluctuations with meat. Sometimes I'll be at Costco or Sam's Club looking
Yes.
at a brisket, $4.69 a pound,
It's
and
true.
like approaching $100 out the door for like a 15, 16 pound brisket hurts my feelings, and I usually just put it back and don't get it.
Yeah.
I totally understand, but
What can you do?
what can you do?
Something that I notice that you do that I like is that you keep a log of meat prices. Where did
I
I
used
find
to.
that? Yeah, but I know that if I call you and say, hey, is this a good price? You still have some kind of a reference. And that might not be a bad idea for people listening in to kind of, I don't know where people shop, but we have a couple of big block type stores. We have got a Costco and we've got a Sam's Club, we've got Winco. And it's good to at least keep some kind of a benchmark so that then you have something to refer to. So you know when you're actually getting a good deal too. Because every now and then there are some good deals out there.
I don't keep the log like I used to, but I do make a point whenever
Yeah.
I'm at a supermarket or one of these, like a Costco. I do make a point, even if I don't plan on buying any meat, I always have to walk through and just kind of look and see what the prices are like.
Yeah.
I am looking for that great opportunity, that deal,
Yeah.
and if I see one, I'm usually ready to jump on it.
I feel like the price of chicken hasn't fluctuated that much, but I feel like beef has been all over the place.
Yeah, I would say the beef prices, I think, are where we see the most expansion in price.
Yeah.
I think pork, not quite as much.
Although I do see sometimes shortages of pork, which is like
Yeah.
blowing my mind. Like I never expected around Christmas time or New Year's. We're looking for pork because you want to do something different. You don't want to just have ham and turkey. You want, something else. Nowhere to be found. I'm like, where are the ribs? It was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, there was definitely a run on baby backs.
Yeah.
Right around Christmas.
Absolutely.
That surprised me. I hadn't seen that before.
And me as your little spy out there, I'm asking like the butcher, I'm like, where are they? And he's like, oh, we haven't had a delivery in a few days. I'm like, really? That's insane to me. Unbelievable.
Okay, now Lubby's Music says, little factoid that 212 degrees is at sea level. At 10,000 feet, it's 194 degrees.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's interesting. So when you get up to 10,000 feet, your water will boil at 194 degrees.
Doesn't have to be as hot.
Wow. All right.
All right.
Okay, Aaron, let's jump back into the presentation. We got a couple of more accessories to talk about. All right, next up, we've got the Kick Ash basket, and we'll get to the picture in a second. But basically, so this is an accessory that will help with providing better airflow for your fuel. This is something that you're going to put your coals in, and it usually gives you more room for charcoal, but then also better airflow. And then the way that it's built, it kind of, what is that word I'm looking for? Perforations?
Oh, it's perforated.
Yeah, it's kind of, perforated.
Yeah.
So when your coals burn down, those smaller pieces are not going to
ashes.
just fall through. They're going to be held within the basket. So you get better economic use for your coals.
So you don't lose it.
It doesn't just drop to the bottom of the firebox and your grill unburned.
Right.
And then what it also helps is more efficient burn of the coals. And then that's going to leave you with less ash than normal. And if you go to the Kick Ash Basket website, they say at the end of your cook, after your coals have cooled off, just lift the basket up, give it a few shakes, and then the little bit of ash that's left that's all you're going to be left with. So I think on the next slide, we do have a photo. Now I have the version for my PK360, so that's what we're looking at here. And this also, you see the way it's set up. You can't really see it, but in the middle where you see the coals over on one side and then there's nothing over on the other side.
Right.
So there's like a divider, a metal divider in the middle that you can move around. So it lets you put as much or as little charcoal as you want
I see.
in the basket. And then this also gives you another way to do like a 2-zone cooking setup. You have your protein over on the side that doesn't have heat. So that's indirect cooking. And then if you want to do a hot and fast or like a direct sear, you can put your protein directly over the side where the coals are. I like the Kick-Ass basket. It provides more efficiency to your grill. Again, this is the version that I have for the PK360. They also have versions that work inside of most of the kettle style grills, Weber kettle. I understand now they have a version for the Weber Summit Kamado as well that I probably need to check out.
Sounds like another trip to, I don't know, Ace. Do you think they'll have it?
I don't know. I probably would have to order it online, but maybe, or Amazon or direct from Kick-Ass Basket.
Yeah.
They also have versions for the ceramic style cookers as well. The Big Green Egg, Primo, Kamado Gel.
Wow. Yeah, I think just looking at what I think I like about it and just hearing you talk about it is that for me, when I look at the price of like charcoal and lump charcoal, it's like, it's nice that you can you have a tool that's going to let you use all of it so you don't waste it, because it is kind of pricey. So I think, especially in this economy, everybody's watching all their pennies. And so here's another thing that'll allow you to basically get the most out of this. And I think that's a smart move.
I'm kind of like a broken record, but what I really like about just the whole barbecue world is just that there's just a ton of third-party support, and people are out here being innovative and thinking of all these different ways to make your grills and smokers perform even better. I'll say it again. Not a must-have accessory, but nice to have. It helps your grill or smoker work better. Like on a Weber Summit Kamado, its reputation is being extremely efficient with coal, so you're not burning through it like crazy. So you don't absolutely need a Kick-Ass basket, but if you've got the extra pennies and it's something that you do want to kind of level up the performance of your grill or smoker, it's another good accessory to consider. But now we're going to get into the accessories that the one accessory that I would say is a must-have accessory. So thermometers. I don't care who you are, how long you've been cooking,
How much experience you have
how much experience you have.
or don't have.
I still say, I mean, unless you're, I don't know, maybe Gordon Ramsay and some of these other, renowned chefs can just look at the food and know what the internal temperature is. But for us regular backyard pit masters, you need a good thermometer to tell you exactly what temperature your food is, the internal temperature of the protein that you're cooking. So instant read thermometer, like what we see here, is something that I think everyone should get. Prices vary. What's really cool about them, they have a metal probe at the end. You just stick it in the meat, and just about all of them will give you a temperature reading within a second. It's instant. They're all really good these days. They're going to be really accurate within like plus or minus maybe
like a couple
2/10 of it. No, not even that. Like 2/10 of a degree.
Oh my goodness.
But they're generally all extremely accurate, and there's a variety of different price points. I mean, you can get a cheap instant read thermometer on Amazon for under $25. I was looking today. I saw a few for $10.
Wow.
$15. The price is nominal. If you want like a digital reading, that's where it starts to get a little more pricey. Like the one that I'm holding in the picture there in the middle is a Fireboard Spark. It's more pricey. I think it's the one that I listed there that's like about $150. And that's because it's got the digital reading. But what's cool about the Fireboard Spark is that it also connects with, if you have their other temperature systems that they have in place, like if you have their wired version that you leave in your smoker, and then basically the little instant read one acts like a little, kind of like like I don't want to call it a remote control, but you can see the temperature inside of your smoker from wherever you are, wherever you're able to get like a Bluetooth signal reading.
You see it through your phone.
Well, yeah, so that's the difference. You can see it through your phone on the app, but you can also see it literally on the instant read thermometer itself.
Okay.
Like the 131, that could be the temperature of your meat.
So that's the advantage
inside of the smoker.
Paying a bit more because you get more technology and it's worth. You feel like that's worth it, but you kind of graduated up to that. You didn't start there. I know you didn't.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
That came out much later, one of their more recent products that they've come out with. Mm-hmm. So no, I didn't start there, but I love Fireboard's products in general. So when I knew that they came out with an instant read thermometer that would work in conjunction with the other thermometer products that they have, that was a no-brainer for me. It was like, okay, sign me up and, take my money. How soon can you get it to me?
Do you offer free shipping?
When they usually do. If you go up in price, you're going to see more technology, more options. But again, the core function that I think everyone needs is the ability to see the internal temperature of your meat while you're cooking it. You need to know that your meat has reached food safe temperatures before you take it off of the grill. And that's how you keep yourself safe, keep your loved ones safe, because you don't want anyone getting food poisoning because you've undercooked your food.
Yeah.
But then it also helps on the other end. If you're just looking to you want to get your food really tender, maybe you want to take it up to 203 degrees if it's a brisket or something. An instant read thermometer will help you. So definitely lots of options to choose from. Again, I like Fireboard. I also really like ThermaWorks ThermaPin, which is the red one there in the picture.
Yeah.
They're really excellent as well. I think you can get those for about $100 on their website. So definitely recommend a good instant read thermometer ones have something. Mm-hmm. All right, next slide. And these are examples, other examples of things you can buy. We've got the wired version. So up on the top is like the Fireboard 2. Mm-hmm. It's got these wired probes that plug into that console that we're looking at. And there are two types of probes generally. There's a probe that you can put into your meat. And the advantage of this is that you leave it in. You can leave the probe inside of your meat the entire time that it's cooking. And then you can see the temperature of your meat throughout the cooking process. And you can either see it on the display or you can see it on the app. Most of these companies have apps and you can monitor it that way on your phone. So that's the Fireboard. They also have another probe that's an ambient temperature reading probe. So that probe will allow you to know what the actual air temperature is inside of your smoker. And what's really cool about that is with these clips, you can put your probe in the clip it to the grate, and then that way you'll know exactly what the temperature is of your food, what the temperature of the smoker is, the cooking temperature at the grate level. I know most of you are going to think, well, my grill already comes with a built-in thermometer. Mm-hmm. While the thermometers, they're good and technically they're accurate, the disadvantage is that the location of the probe and the built-in thermometer, it's always going to be somewhere above the grate level. Yeah. So it's giving you the temperature up above. Wherever that probe is above the grate, that's what you're seeing. It's not giving you the temperature of the air inside of the ambient temperature inside of your smoker of the food at the grate level.
So could it give you sort of a little bit of a false reading because heat rises? So could you think that it's warmer than it really is?
Well, yeah, you should. I mean, that's how you should think of it. Like, if that's all you have to go by is the built-in thermometer, then you need to know that the temperature that it's showing on the built-in thermometer is probably 20, 25 degrees different from the temperature at the actual grate level. It could be 25 degrees hotter, or it could be 25 degrees less. I mean,
I
the
see.
more you cook, hopefully you'll get an idea and you'll be able to gauge it. So the other thing I was going to say is, because you get these recipes and you're following the recipe and it'll say, smoke those ribs at 225 degrees. And then you want to make sure you're trying as best you can to keep the temperature at 225 degrees. And that's where it becomes difficult. So if you have a wired probe, you can do that. The disadvantage, and what people don't like about wired probes, is that they're wires. So they get tangled up. Sometimes after use, the wires might fray and fail.
I see.
They can be a little bit cumbersome. So that's one of the things that people don't like about using wired probes. I'm kind of okay with them because, at least with like Fireboard, they stand behind their product. Even when they do fail, I've never had problems getting replacements for them under warranty.
That's good.
So that's a good way to go. Another option, ThermoWorks also has a similar system like this, the ThermoWorks Signal. So that's another alternative. That's definitely a way to go. But again, for people who don't like dealing with the wires, the other alternative is to get a wireless thermometer.
Yeah.
The picture below, the yellow, that's a combustion wireless thermometer. Another really popular one is the Meter, and they just came out with the Meter 2 Plus. It's like a single probe. It's wireless. Stick it in the meat, stays in the meat throughout your cook. And that one probe will give you both the temperature of the meat inside, the temperature inside of the meat as it's cooking. And then it also gives you, because it's got more sensors at the tip of the probe, it'll also read the ambient temperature inside of your smoker. And because the probe is inserted in the meat, so you already know that it's giving you a reading at the grate level, at the level where the food is.
What if you're wrapping your meat? How do you use these? Or what would you do? Maybe there would be a different way that you might approach it.
Technically, it's not as difficult as you might think. You can either just, like if you're using butcher paper, the probe is sharp. So you just stick it right through the paper or
good.
the foil right into the meat.
Okay.
That's usually not a deterrent at all. Trying to think what else was I going to say about this. Oh, so the thing with the wireless thermometers, the con is the connectivity. And we've seen, especially if you've kind of been following the development of wireless thermometers over the last 10 years or so, they've gotten better, but I think a lot of people may have gotten disappointed with some of the early versions because connectivity, I'm just going to say it, connectivity sucked. Most of them were based on Bluetooth technology. Maybe you're able to get like a consistent reading, I don't know, maybe while you're 10, 20 feet away from your smoker.
Oh.
But then if you go inside your house,
Because it's freezing.
yeah, like
or it's
right now
hot.
it's really cold,
Yeah.
or it's really hot, or
Right.
you want to watch the football game.
Absolutely.
Your connectivity starts to drop, becomes spotty or what have you, goes in and out. It's just really inconsistent. They're starting to get better. If you've followed my channel over the years, I think many of you have seen, I had a really poor experience with the initial Meter.
I remember
had
that.
the Meter block, and I bought it through the, what do they call that? Now I can't think of it. The crowdfunding.
Oh, that's right. You bought it at the initial development of it. You
Yeah.
helped crowdfund it so they could actually produce it, and they took forever forever to produce it. I remember that.
Forever,
Yeah.
and then they kept lying, essentially lying
Yeah.
about when it was going to be ready.
And
I
it
got
kept
more
getting
pissed
delayed,
off.
delayed.
And then when I finally got it, it didn't work that well. And yeah, that was kind of a fiasco. But then I did get the Meter Plus that
Which was
came
better.
out a little bit later. It was better,
Yeah.
but still a little bit inconsistent. And now, yeah, they have the Meter 2 Plus, but currently my wireless thermometer of choice is combustion.
Good.
I like it. They're not quite as slick in terms of the app. I think the app could be a little bit more polished, whereas Meter has a really nice app, kind of gives you all the bells and whistles. But I think combustion, it's coming along, and I've been really happy with it so far. So I do have another short clip of the combustion in action, because one of the big questions is, how well does a wireless meat thermometer work inside of an offset smoker, which is usually made with like 1/4-inch thick steel?
Yeah.
That's always a big question with these wireless probes. Can they work inside of a heavy, well-made steel offset smoker like my Lone Star Grill's 20 by 42? So we'll get a quick answer to that in the next clip. Things that I was most curious about with regard to the combustion is whether or not it would be able to work from inside of my Lone Star Grill's offset smoker. And I'm happy to say that I have not had any connection issues. It works really well. There it is right there. It's keeping everything nearby. And no connection issues. So that's a big plus, a big win, as far as I'm concerned, with regard to the combustion inside of my offset smoker. So that's a huge plus. Good job, combustion. I was very pleased with that test. And then you might have noticed there was a wire visible just kind of as a backup in case the combustion couldn't handle it. I was also using one of my wired fireboard probes to help me keep track of the ambient temperature inside of my smoker. So those are basically the accessories that I did want to run through. Again, let's see, we talked about the Slow and Sear, the Vortex, the Kick-Ash basket, and then instant read thermometer. And then we also talked about the wired thermometer as well as the wireless thermometer. Yeah. So I think all of those are some really great accessories that can help enhance your barbecue experience. The one that I consider a must-have is the instant read thermometer. All right, so let's look into some more questions and comments that have come through.
Absolutely.
So have you ever tried smoked oxtails? It's amazing. If not, please give it a try. What do you say?
I said that sounds so good. I mean, I know that sometimes when we would go to Vegas, my sister would get like oxtails in a soup, which was pretty amazing. So yeah, I think we should try this. I think we would like it.
So I have not tried smoked oxtail, but yeah, Janine's sister
swears by it.
Yeah, she just loves that oxtail that she gets somewhere in Vegas.
Yeah, some little hole in the wall in Vegas. It's not even like a place that is a true storefront. It's like a closet in a casino, and they go there and get it all the time. I think it's worth it.
Now, what exactly is an oxtail?
I think it's literally the part of the ox that is a tail, just like a neck bone, you know? I mean, that's a good delicacy too. And I do like a neck bone. So I think I can go for this oxtail. I think we're going to try a few things. I was going to go to the supermarket this weekend. Maybe oxtail will find its way into the basket.
All right, I'll smoke it and you can eat it.
No, we're going, both of us, and we'll bring it, and we're going to bring it to your parents. They're going to love it.
I'll smoke it, then I'll let you eat it, and then I'll see what happens, and then maybe I'll try it.
Oh, no, we're going to try it. Yeah, it's a tail of an ox. Literally, that's producers just weighed in.
Okay.
Oh, they're not cheap anymore. See, neither are neck bones. So I think everything that used to be kind of considered like not sort of the, I don't know, the approved portion of the animal is really expensive. Like it's ridiculous. So even that, it's, I don't know, maybe it's inflation. It's just kind of taking everything to another level price wise.
Like I said, other than just kind of eyeballing the prices,
Yeah.
I don't really follow what's happening on the meat market close enough to really have a good feel for what's really going on.
I'm all over anything that seems to be pork and or some of the other parts of like the cow that like some people might not like.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Marco says, I have a PK360 as well. Good to know they make a kick-ass basket to fit. Thanks. Yeah. I use the kick-ass basket stays in my PK360. Redstone says, I picked up a kick-ass basket for my PK360 after watching your video. I love it and use my PK more than any of my grills. One of my favorite things to smoke on it are thick-cut bone-in pork chops.
Yeah.
I think I did a video
That sounds
with
good.
some thick bone-in pork chops on my PK. It's been a while since I've done that.
Yeah, I'm missing the
yeah.
pork chops in my
Okay.
life. Yeah.
Because now I'm kind of feeling the pork chops. So you might get the pork chops before you get the oxtails.
That's fine. I'm all for pork. There's just pork does rule and yeah.
Okay. She says, say less. Fireboard 2 with the blower is excellent. Yeah, so that's another thing with the Fireboard. A lot of people like to use things like the Fireboard. I think ThermoWorks version is the Billows, I believe it's called, or the Billows is the name of the fan that works with the signals. But basically what we're talking about is automatic temperature control. You connect a fan and you have the fan positioned so that it can blow oxygen, blow air into your smoker. And the device, the Fireboard or the ThermoWorks signal or whatever, will automatically send signals to the fan, letting it know how much air to blow or to not blow in order to keep the temperature in your desired temperature range. And that's one of the things that the Fireboard does really well. You connect it to a fan and you can use it as an automatic temperature control. So that's another great use for the Fireboard too, for sure. Redstone. I use a ThermoWorks Dot quite a bit, but would like to try the meter probe. So yeah, the ThermoWorks Dot is one of the, like that one's been out for a long time and it does a great job. It's a wired version of the temperature device, connects to a wire. It's really small, kind of circular shaped, works really solid. And you would like to try the meter probe. Yeah.
But aren't they kind of like polar opposites almost?
Basically, he's talking about going from wired to wireless.
Right.
If you go wireless, hang on to your Dot in case you have some connectivity issues and you have a backup. But that's what I like about the wired versions, is that they're pretty reliable for the most part. Andy says, is there a thermometer moisture meter?
Oh, I've never heard of that.
I don't know, but I suspect if there is one, I would start by checking ThermoWorks. They make just a variety of different types of thermometers. In addition to, like, for barbecue, they make things that the cooking industry is using, you know, like monitor the temperatures.
So like for restaurants.
Yeah, restaurants
Got
and
it.
monitoring the temperatures of their refrigerators and freezers.
So it might exist.
I would not be surprised if there is such a thing. And I would not be surprised that if ThermoWorks had it. I would start by checking ThermoWorks website. Lala says, thank you for the great tips. Thank you, Lala. Always appreciate seeing you.
Well, I have enjoyed all these questions. And I enjoyed the videos. And so this was quite fun. And I've gotten in my requests for certain proteins that I'm going to hold you accountable to smoke.
You buy it, I will smoke it.
Yeah.
But before we get out of here, again, this week's episode of the podcast is not sponsored by a paid sponsor, but it is sponsored by Backyard Smokemaster Barbecue. And we do have a new barbecue course, how to become a backyard barbecue pitmaster in 1 month. We've got a special going on for the first 10 people to sign up. If you enter the code FIRST10 at the checkout, you'll get 50% off. So that's a great deal, if I say so myself. And we do have a video clip just to give you a little bit of feel for what is happening in the course. To become a backyard pit master in just 1 month, whether you're a complete novice or already have experience under your belt, our brand new course is designed to help you master the art of cooking great barbecue in your backyard. Hello, my name is Kenyatta Robinson of Backyard Smokemaster Barbecue. In this course, we'll cover all of the core fundamentals and recipes needed to have you cooking delicious barbecue in no time. You will learn fire management and temperature control on a charcoal grill, recipes for pulled pork, beer can chicken, Creole honey butter salmon, beef ribs, barbecue shotgun shells, baby back ribs, brisket, how to make your own rubs, and more. I will show you how to smoke your favorite meat to perfection. Taking everyday ingredients, I'm going to teach you the core fundamentals and recipes so that you can make great tasting barbecue that will impress everyone around you. The video lessons and downloadable recipes are yours to keep forever. Plus, if you sign up for VIP access, you will be able to access my extensive video library that is full of tips, tricks, and recipes all in one convenient location. Watch the videos anytime and contact me directly with your questions. What are you waiting for? Buy the course now and let's get your barbecue journey started today. All right, and to get more information, just go to backyardsmokemaster.com/course. And again, if you enter the code FIRST10, you can get 50% off. And if you do have any questions available, you can ask me questions. I'm on social media. You can send an email to me at kenyatta@backyardsmokemaster.com or slide into my DMs, as they say, on Facebook or Instagram, and I'll answer whatever questions that you may have. All right, so again, I do want to thank you all. Let's see, before we sign off, I think we got another question up. P3AK930. I missed this one. I'll have to watch it back in a few. Okay. No worries. I appreciate you jumping in right at the end and saying that you'll catch the replay. Looks like you're watching us on YouTube, so the replay will definitely be available on YouTube. And then if you do want to listen to the audio version, you can check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever your favorite podcast audio player is. So we're making ourselves available in all of those places. Again, do want to thank everyone for spending an hour with us. Had fun. Went by pretty fast. Hopefully, if you got some value out of the video, out of the podcast, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Again, check us out on the podcast. Also, tell a friend. Tell a friend. I plan to be here same time, same place next week on Friday evening, 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern. So we're going to be here. Tune in, tell a friend, and let's chop it up and talk barbecue. Thank you to Janine for joining me on the podcast. Yeah,
special thanks to our producer, Aaron.
That's right. Thank you to Aaron for serving as the moderator / producer.
Absolutely.
Appreciate all of your help. And a thank you to everyone that tuned in. This is Kenyatta Robinson. Take care. Get out there, enjoy your smokers and grills, and I'll see you soon.